Okay, this story is very interesting. Just kind of came in on our news wire, even though it's been out there, a couple of months and everything like that. Chaos in Senegal and protests over the Senegalese leader, President Wade's remark about a North Korean-built statue that's entitled African Renaissance. Yeah, you can go ahead with that right there. All right, so I want to share this with you and also show you some of the pictures that we were able to find on the internet. Now, chaos due to different opinions, protests over Senegal leaders' Jesus comments. This Senegalese leader, he made certain so-called Jesus comments. President Wade nearly completed monument, a 50-meter bronze statue of a man, woman, and a child is perched on a hill looking out over the Atlantic and is meant to symbolize Africa's liberation from, quote, centuries of ignorance, intolerance, and racism. Dakar, Thursday. Police in mostly Muslim Senegal broke up a protest outside the capital Dakar's cathedral on Wednesday after Catholics accused the country's president of making disparaging comments about Jesus. The dispute between President Abdoulaye Wade and Senegal's small but influential Catholic community is the latest twist in a growing controversy over Wade's plan for a huge monument overlooking Dakar that depicts the, quote, African Renaissance, end quote. Imams this month, Muslim imams this month, they attacked the statue of a giant African black family group as so-called being un-Islamic for presenting the human form, allegedly according to them, as an object of worship. A criticism Wade sought to deflect this week by arguing that Christians pray to a, quote, man called Jesus Christ, end quote. We were shaken and humiliated by the comparison which the head of state made between the monument to African Renaissance and the representations found in our churches, Theodore Adrian Sarr told a congregation in the Catholic cathedral. He went on to state that it is scandalous and unacceptable that the divinity of Jesus is jeered and questioned by the highest authority of state, end quote. He didn't jeer or question, he just made a comparison. But the Bible also states that Jesus Christ is bronze in complexion, just like the statue. So when you see the statue, you're seeing an accurate color depiction according to the Bible of the true complexion of Jesus Christ. But back to the news story. Witnesses said security forces moved in quickly to break up an attempt by several hundred Catholics to protest in the street outside the cathedral, a short walk from Wade's presidential palace in central Dakar. Around 90% of Senegalese are Muslim, but the West African country has long nurtured a tradition of religious tolerance, notably to Christians, who make up about 6% of the population. Wade's nearly completed monument, a 50-meter bronze statue of a black African man, woman, and child, is perched on a hill looking out over the Atlantic Ocean and is meant to symbolize Africa's liberation from, quote, centuries of ignorance, intolerance, and racism, end quote. Once finished in the year 2010, the monument will be taller than New York's Statue of Liberty, and Wade hopes it will draw in tourists and revenue. But people, here's the interesting part. The $27 million North Korean built statue, yes, that's right, North Korean, in other words, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-il is the one that is building this African Renaissance statue. So we got to give him some support for this right here, because we definitely know there's a link to the slave trade, and both the Catholics and the Muslims both had a hand in this. But back to the news story. The 27 million North Korean built statue has been criticized by some as a waste of money. Senegal has a long history of tolerance between majority Muslim and the influential Christian community, who make up some 6% of the population. But the BBC's Tindiana Sai in Dakar says there have been recent warnings that this could be at risk. 3 respected groups have called on the government to be cautious about how it handles religious issues. President Wade sent his influential son Kareem, who is also a cabinet member, to deliver a personal apology to Catholic Archbishop Sarr after the stone-throwing Catholic youths, get this, 6% of the population, after the stone-throwing Catholic youths clashed with security forces outside the Dakar Catholic Cathedral on Wednesday. The Archbishop had said, and we wanted you to hear this again, this is what the Archbishop, the Catholic Archbishop of the 6% Catholic population, and people like to call the Catholics Christian, but Catholicism is a whole other religion than Christianity. Anyway, the Catholic Archbishop had said, quote, "We were shaken and humiliated by the comparison which the head of state made between the monument to African Renaissance and the representations found in our churches." End quote. Now, let's just do a little bit of news analysis on this statement of the Senegalese Catholic Archbishop Sarr. He says that they were shaken and humiliated, whoever the we is, probably him and Pope Benedict, but they were shaken and humiliated by the comparison which the head of state, President Wade, made between the monument to African Renaissance, to black people, especially those black people who were lost from Africa in the slave trade. So really this statue is about us, folks. You understand? The whole media is out there demonizing Kim Jong-il over there. Many of y'all are falling for that crap, but this is what Kim Jong-il is doing in Africa. And you have to think, when you look at this statue, that there's a bigger world, you understand, than whether we have a black president or something like this. There's a bigger world out there. You understand? There's other peoples of other nations and other so-called ethnicities and races, you understand, that are concerned about our struggle. But now this Catholic Archbishop in Senegal, he's now making this big old crying game. He's going through the crying game bit because President Wade, the president of Senegal, he basically said to the Muslims, these Muslims who were trying to call the statue idolatrous and attack the statue and everything, these Muslims over there, you understand, these like second, third class Muslims, I mean, in the Arab world, they still are considered like niggers. Look what they say about Bilal, the Ethiopian black Muslim and everything, you know? But anyway, a lot of these Africans, you know, anyway, we'll touch on that. What do we mean by these Africans? We'll tell you, because the Muslims in Senegal are saying that this is idolatrous. Nobody is talking about praying to a statue. I mean, can you imagine? You're going to pray to, who are you praying to? The man, the woman, the child, or the whole family? This statue is for the transatlantic slave trade, the trans-Ethiopic ocean slave trade. You understand? This is a monument, you understand, to what happened to our people. You understand? Seeing that we're moving into this whole new age. This new age and new world order has a lot to do with Africa first. You understand? But we're still piggybacking on the back of Anglo-American white folks or black folks with white mamas. You know what I mean? You know, as our saviors and everything. And we're not seeing the bigger picture that's going on. So this Catholic Archbishop, he's responding to Senegalese President Wade, who basically said that, well, to the Muslim groups, he's talking to the Muslim group and saying, well, you know, if you think that's a problem about some worship with the statue, well, I mean, look at the Christians. We have Christians in our country. We tolerate the Christians who pray to white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Who prays to a man called Jesus Christ. He didn't say white Jesus. He said man, Jesus Christ. Now, this Catholic archbishop, I think this is a juicy story, an issue. You understand? And we really do your research, North Korean, African Renaissance statue, and you'll find pictures and articles and, what have you, and share. But